So I have big time spring fever right now, and nothing has been done around here. Nothing is an understatement. Nothing has been done around here. But I know things need to start now that it's getting a little bit warmer. Our last frost is going to be March 20th, I think. Maybe March 30th. I have to look it up again. But I'm putting on these cool looking arm thingies that my mother-in-law gave me. Thank you, Janie. And I'm gonna put on my gloves, and I'm gonna take you with me and show you how bad it looks, so that when summer gets here and everything's growing and looking beautiful, you can see how good it looks. Today we went to the store and bought seeds and seed starters and a bunch of stuff to start. It's February, what day is today? February 10th or 11th. So we should be fine. Some of the stuff probably is too late. Some of it may be too early. I have no idea what I'm doing, but we're gonna soon find out. So I'm gonna take you with me down front so you can see the rose garden, rose bushes, whatever. We call it the lily rose garden because it's surrounded with lilies and it has roses, and they have to be cut down. And that has to happen because it's about to rain, and I don't want them to be lots of shoots. So we're gonna go do that. But I'm gonna do some videos of how bad it looks, and y'all can be like, oh my God, that's horrible. But months from now, when you see how pretty my yard is, then you'll get it. Okay, I just don't do anything during the winter time. I don't even try. But okay, so here we go. I'm gonna show you around. We're gonna start at my back patio. And yes, everything needs to be pressure washed, and everything needs to be have pine straw added, and the pool needs to be cleaned, blah blah blah. But you'll see here in a minute. I just want you to envision things, and then you can comment what you think should be done. So here we go. All right, I showed last week our composter, and I have this full of compost, which it rained, so now it's full of water underneath the tarp, so I got to get that out. But this is where we normally have our herb garden. I just bought that strawberry bush because they were on sale, and that's our lemon tree. So I need to trim off the dead stuff off of that, and I need to clean all this out and fill it with new compost, new soil. I bought this, and then I bought some worm castings and vermiculite and some other stuff. This is our garlic, and if you look, there's little baby garlics growing. They seem to be happy. I can see 1, 2, 3, I think there's 3 growing in there. So we'll see if more grow, but that's a good sign. Okay, so ideally these need to be trimmed back. Let me get my hand out of there. They need to be trimmed back. These middle bushes, I don't even know if they're alive. They need to be trimmed. This whole thing is built on a clay mountain. So it's got a liner inside there. It's got all kinds of, these are Japanese maples. There's one on either side. They're absolutely beautiful when they're blooming. But for now, this is what I have to work with. And I would love to turn this entire thing into a garden, but I have tried to dig down into this, and it is nearly impossible. So I'm wondering if I could build up and build some raised beds in the wall. I've got to decide if these are salvageable or not, and these bushes as well, and work my way from there. So I'm going to walk around and show you. Obviously, all of this needs to be pressure washed, and the pool needs to be cleaned. Normally I do planter gardens, and I just do pots all over this area, and just do them on top of everything, and just cover this all in pine straw and make it look nice. And this is always a beautiful bright red. This whole area isn't being used. I would absolutely love, look how bad it is. It needs to be pressure washed. There's just so much moisture back here. I would love to add like a full shed there that we could keep our pool supplies in, different supplies inside of there. That would be phenomenal. And I usually do like pots around here with different flowers growing in them, but this needs to be pressure washed. It's just not winterized. I need to make some cushions for that and get this looking good. Okay, then you walk down these steps, and over here is this great area. It's really got 2 showers in here, but they don't currently work, and the piping is burst in the wall. So in order to utilize them, we'll have to rerun piping out of the wall on top of it to get the 2 shower heads to work. So instead we just use this as like a staging area, a potting area. So I found this on the side of the road, and I'm probably going to clean it up and paint it and make it look better. And this is where I plan on doing a lot of my planting. So I want to set this area up because it does have water that I can use here. It has a drain here. I've got supplies in this little tiny shed that's full of pool supplies. So I want to clean underneath the deck, and I got my peat moss and a big bucket of water that's probably going to start growing mosquitoes here if it warms up. So I've got a little bit of mulch. So I want to clean this area up, and I want to use this and utilize this for potting as much as possible. I tried putting it over here closer to the water, but it's angled, and so it doesn't sit there well. All right, so this is our blueberry bushes that grew. They were growing fine, and then the deer got to them, so I need to see how to treat them. I'm gonna have to watch YouTube. And this is a I can't remember the name of it. My mother-in-law gave us this tree, but as you can see from this angle, it's completely leaning forward. I just put that little mat on it just now. I think we're gonna have to tie it back, and we're gonna have to do soil around it and kind of build it up so that it can grow. It does bloom. This used to be our driveway garden. This had a tree in it that was taken out in the center, and then we had it planted with a million flowers. I have some really beautiful photos of what it used to look like. I'll put here in the corner. It was absolutely amazing, covered in flowers and blooming right at the end of the driveway. But since then we've taken it out because we have such drainage issues coming off of this hill that it just would get washed out every year. I had built a little drain right along there, and it still gets washed out. So I think we're just gonna let that fill in with grass and maybe just do a planter here or something at the end. But we have all these stones that we can work with. And there were some in that little cubby area that I was talking about putting a shed. So we could potentially use that to build like a corner. Every time I put my finger in here, it messes up the... If I could build a corner little area where I could plant stuff there using these stones, that would be awesome. Okay. All right, now heading down here, I built this a couple years ago and put it there so it would cover our trash cans, so that from the driveway you wouldn't be able to see the trash cans at the end. That's the only place for us to put them. But we do have these two pots. I'm going to pressure wash that top one. Every time the yard people come and mow, though, it sprays weeds and grass, and it just ends up growing grass. And I used to have like strawberries and stuff in there. It ends up just growing weeds. So I'm going to empty it out and reuse it. And then I've got two pots I can use. And that one looks like it's growing a hosta inside of it. The side yard has a beautiful magnolia, but obviously we need pine straw around our trees over there. Coming around here, I never trimmed our crepe myrtle. Behind it we have a Japanese maple, which is beautiful and has these big white pink flowers, and I can see that it's covered in buds, but I didn't ever trim the crepe myrtle, so it's probably going to be bigger than that. So this crepe myrtle really needs to be chopped to like right there so that we can actually see them, and it'll be like a circular pop of color, and it's bright pink, and then behind it would be the purpley pink. Then here, these normally just have flowers in them. I'm gonna change them out, till the soil, make them pretty again. And then we go up to the front door, up the steps that need to be pressure washed. And really this is so that you could see all the work needs to be done. So last year I decided to move because it's easier to get from my kitchen out here. So I moved and planted all of my tomatoes were in here. My peppers were in here. I have a rose bush that needs to be trimmed. And then I did flowers in these two pots with thyme in the front. And then this was my herbs all right here. And then I had just a tropical plant here. So all of these need to be emptied and go through the soil and just make it better. And I've got to decide if I'm going to leave this here or put it on the patio. It just gets really good sun here in this spot way up here. Now we're going to head down and look at the front, and then we'll go over to the roses. So this is we name these because I FaceTime my mother-in-law a lot, and we go over all of these things because she's a very avid gardener. She knows the terminology and things. So this is the circle garden. So everything has a name. So when I'm talking about it with her, she knows which area I'm discussing. So these were just pretty plants. I did this last year, added these extra stones I had so that I could get that, because it's on a slant, as you could tell. It's on a slant. This is where the drainage issue is. You can see it just pours from the hill. It's something to do with the water table, and it comes here, and this grows all this mold around here. So I would love to have this surrounded by rocks and then either pine straw or mulch. If I had $4 million. Then I have 2 hydrangeas, one there and one here. And every time the yard people come, I guess they think they're a weed or don't like hydrangeas. They weed whack them every time. And usually I have plants growing out of here and just flowers in these pots here. So they need to be dumped, emptied, and refilled with new flowers when the season changes. I need to trim off all the little new growth on this. And then this is Zoe's fairy garden. So this is the fairy garden, and unfortunately something I got from my mother was this cute little blue jean thing, and it got, something must have fell on it and it just got completely busted. But she does this every year. I buy her plants, and then she works on little houses, and my daughter empties all the little things that are inside here into buckets and sits here, and we plant them together, and then she decorates them. And it's great because I can see when people take their kids for walks and stuff, they stop to come look at the fairy garden. And then obviously I need to trim up a few things around here, get this cleaned up, and now we're heading over to the roses. There is a little bit more. Let me show you that before we get to the roses. This is another Japanese maple. We've kept this one fairly small, and it's like a rich burgundy purple color. And then there's a little rose bush here that just needs to be trimmed. It's like a mini roses, those little tiny mini ones. And then behind where we're gonna go work is this giant lantana that needs to be cut down. And all of these leaves get cleaned up. And then this all gets covered with pine straw underneath this magnolia tree. Back here we have a little walking path that heads back up to the patio where we came out originally. I just need to get rid of that thing. It's dead. And then probably clean up these stones. This is all wonkadoo from water, so I need to fix that. And I love the ivy, but I have a tree here that needs to go bye-bye. And I'm really sad because it's a dogwood tree. It has these beautiful white flowers, and they look so pretty when you're sitting in the patio and you look up out here at these beautiful little dogwood flowers. But it is completely covered in poison oak and ivy and fungus and everything else. And then I want to find a way to make this area look better. Let me see if there's anything else to show you before we move on to actually doing some work. There's the strawberry pot. I'm going to clean that out and use it to plant my strawberries. So I'm going to get that taken care of. With the strawberry pot that I bought today, just had, it was like, I don't know, $10.98 or something for 4 strawberries. As we have this back here, we took out a tree there that was dead. There was a lot of dead trees here. I don't know if it's what it is, but there was when we got here. So there's nothing really here, and it's not level. There's not much we can do with it, but any suggestions? And then we have up here a fire pit and some old pallets I had got from a friend. I was all excited I was going to make some planters out of pallets, and then I was told they were not treated, and so I couldn't use them. So we used a lot of them for the fire pit. But now the fire pit is, we never use it. It's completely covered. But as you can see, there are little stones. There's big ones to sit on, but all the way around here and over here, there's little stones, and there's little stones here. If I could collect enough of them, and there's more around the yard, if I could collect enough of them, maybe I could put them around that front circle. I don't know if that's even remotely enough, but I moved them all up here, it would be great to be able to use them because we're not using the fire pit. There's a couple things back here that just need to be trashed. There's somebody left some chairs back there and all these fallen trees that need to go bye-bye. And there's the house. So part of what I plan on doing is bringing the front lily rose garden back to life. I need to plant flowers in my pots. I need to decide what's going to happen for the front patio. I need to, not the front patio, the front door where all the pots are. I need to clean up the little shower area over there. I need to clean up all around this. I need to plant my herb garden and decide if it's going to be in there or if that's going to be vegetables. And then an herb garden out front. I bought seeds and seed starter kits and soil and vermiculite and all that stuff I mentioned a minute ago. So I need to decide. See, isn't this pretty just walking back here by this ivy? Granted, I'm probably gonna fall if I'm not careful because of all the mold. There's my other compost bin where I can collect compost. I would love to build something here that covers these, or even maybe an archway right here so that you can't see back to our backyard. So there's lots to do. So if I do something every morning, water and do a little bit for about an hour every morning is what I used to do when I had my garden was the prettiest. I would do an hour a morning. And then if once a week I did a bigger project, then, and this year I'm going to attempt to do my seeds and grow some vegetables, which I've never done before. So anyway, the other day, this is the lily rose garden. There's lilies all the way around it, and there's roses, and then there's a crepe myrtle right here. So you can see the lilies are starting to come up. Well, they were still covered in all their old leaves. So I yanked all those off the other day. Let me move my hand. Like I said, that crepe myrtle needs to come out. All of this needs to be covered. But you can see the little buds coming up, and this one's looking really good. So these will bloom with those great big, well, there's stargazer lilies. There is pink, purple, yellow, red, and white. So this little rose bush is the baby of the bunch. It never grew. And then here's the big roses. And I'm gonna take them down to like there, right there. So that is what I'm gonna do today, but it is starting to rain. So I'm gonna start and we'll see how far I get, okay? So that's kind of what I'm going for. Can you see the difference? I'm gonna go straight across that way. Trying not to film the neighbor's yard, but that's kind of the idea. Well, I definitely follow through with what I say I'm gonna do each day. But now it's pouring and I got as far as I could get. And I need to clean up because I think I saw bits of poison oak coming into the rose bushes. So I'm gonna wash these sleeves really good. Hopefully they protected me. My eyes are burning. Okay, bye. Thank you so much for joining me today on our tour of our gardens here around our home in Central Alabama. We have had such a great time showing you kind of the yuck before the beauty, right? So fall is such kind of a great time, especially in this video, because it was a torrential rainstorm, as you saw right at the end. So it was very overcast, but as you can see from the beautiful photos, our garden has been a blessing to us this last 10 years. We have been able to have some beautiful upgrades. Every year we put new things in, we move things around, and we really enjoy the act of gardening, planting, and growing our own food, fruits, and vegetables. So we are very excited to do that again this year. It is a labor of love for our whole family. I absolutely love spending the day FaceTiming my mother-in-law, my mom, talking to my sisters about gardening and planting and just learning as much as I possibly can from them and from watching videos here on YouTube. I have learned so much. I am so excited to show you some upcoming videos where we talk about all that I've learned regarding the blueberries and redoing that side of the yard. And also, my son and I have a video coming soon of our seedlings that we've just started. And we have some little baby seeds that have popped up in the last week or two. So I cannot wait to share that with you. Here at Crafting with Brandy, we focus on pretty much anything that you could make. My profession is sewing and making shirts, screen printed shirts for people, and making things for the local community around here in the schools. And I pretty much like to make anything. If it comes to cooking, cleaning, gardening, sewing, crafting of any kind, that's what you'll find here on this channel, Crafting with Brandy. So please, if you like what you've seen today, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, make sure you hit the bell so that you can get notifications when new videos come out. Come back and see us anytime, and be sure to check out my website, craftingwithbrandy.com, for more of what I do. And remember, here at Crafting with Brandy, happiness is homemade. Have a great day, everyone.